album covers of the music that influenced me the most.
Ooh.
You don't explain who it is, why it is, what song it was. You just simply pop the album. And so I would have, if you were on Facebook, I would have nominated you. But since you are not, I've already picked out my 10. I'm on day 3. So my very first one was the band Rush. I started listening to Rush, probably 1981-ish. And up until that time, I was listening to what my parents listened. And Rush was everything and more. And then came Van Halen.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, Journey. Journey was a big one. Back in the 80s, I graduated in mid-80s. Foreigner was a great band that just rocked it back in the day. And then more of my modern stuff started coming out. AC/DC, their Back in Black album kind of hooked me, and then I started...
Everybody likes that album.
Yeah. And then I went to see a concert with Ozzy Osbourne. I think this was in 1983 in Tulsa at the Convention Center.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this unknown band by the name of Motley Crue that was with him. And if you ever watched the movie The Dirt, that tour that they're on with Ozzy Osbourne is the tour that I saw. That was my very first concert I got to go see by myself. Yeah. That was awesome. Because I was old enough to drive, and Mom said when I was old enough to drive, I could do it. So I did. But Motley Crue became instant influence at that point.
What was the first Motley Crue song you heard?
Shout at the Devil.
Yo, yeah, for sure.
Yep. Shout at the Devil was the first one I heard. And then, not sure which one of these came first. I want to say Guns N' Roses and then Metallica, but it's a real close time period there that both of those popped in. And Guns N' Roses was awesome. I mean, when they hit the scene...
Oh, Welcome to the Jungle?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, when they hit the scene, shit changed. And it was kind of a funny story, too, real quick about Guns N' Roses. MTV wasn't... They said, no, they're not going to show the video. It's a little bit...
Welcome to the Jungle?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit too racy to show on television. Plus, we don't think these guys are going to do anything anyways. And so they refused to play the video. Well, slowly the music was starting to catch on a little bit. It's moved from L.A. into the Arizona area, Las Vegas, that region there. So it's kind of slowly coming across. Well, this guy had a connection. The record label chief had a connection at MTV, and it begged him, please put the video on. And this guy took his job into his own hands and put the video on at like an obscure time, like 4 a.m. and was going to do it just once. And he played that video, and then the phone lines started lighting up. Who was that band? Play that again. Play. Do you have anything else of them? Play them again. Oh my God, that was best thing ever. That's how Guns N' Roses was to me. When I heard them for the first time, I was like, holy shit.
I had a Guns N' Roses moment the first time I saw them that was just like the Nirvana moment. First time I saw Nirvana. Like, you could tell the moment you saw, like, oh, this just changed it.
Yeah.
This just totally changed the game.
Yeah, Nirvana and the grunge movement out in the Northwest. Mm-hmm. I loved Pearl Jam, too. I didn't put Pearl Jam down as an influence because they really weren't. And I didn't put Nirvana down either because they really weren't.
Oh, see, both of those would be on mine.
See, I was still kind of more into my hard rock phase at that time. So I'd listen to them, but then Soundgarden came along, and Black Hole Sun just lit me up, and kind of started slowing myself down a little bit to that pace of music.
Gotta calm myself down.
Yeah.
Not so much Kool-Aid.
Because I was like bordering on death metal at this point. Death metal wasn't even invented yet, but that real hard punk stuff. So Anyways,
See, you said that Black Flag would be on would be one for me. I mean,
I had to think real hard on the music because you know how eclectic my music tastes are, and I listen to everything. But the stuff that shaped me, the stuff that influenced me, the stuff that I would sit down and play guitar to, you know, I never did that to a Black Flag song. I never did that to an Outsiders song. I never did that to a Crosby, Stills, Nash song. You know, the only songs that I used to play a lot on guitar that I didn't pick was Lynyrd Skynyrd because, you know, they really weren't my genre of music. But Lynyrd Skynyrd, when you're learning how to play guitar, Lynyrd Skynyrd's on the easier scale of things, and it's fun to play. So I had to do what shaped me, and there's a lot of man, I've got so many honorable mentions. I've probably got 50 or 60 bands that are just honorable mention that just was this far out of that top 10.
almost.
Right. But I had to go with my thing on it. And so anyways, after the Black Album of Metallica, then right about that time, this is my odd one, right? So we started with Rush.
Jim Croce.
Yeah, Rush, then Van Halen. We had Journey and Foreigner, and then Motley Crue, and then Guns N' Roses and Metallica, and put AC/DC in there too. And then who's next? Garth Brooks.
Oh, okay. I can see that, though. I thought you were going to go way left.
Yeah,
no, I can see that.
Garth Brooks, No Fences.
Yeah. Great one.
Another album that actually, I never had the vinyl on that, but I did have CDs, and I know I went through probably 3 No Fences CDs. I mean, just
easy.
Man, played that thing backwards.
Play
and
that
forward.
thing, man. Just play it. It just hits you in the feels, man.
And then, you know, if you want to take some of that grunge and bring it right back around to the front in a more modern kind of thing, Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters are probably the Foo Fighters are my go-to, my mainstay. If I feel shitty, I'm going to listen to a Foo Fighters song. If I feel great, I'm going to listen to a Foo Fighters song. You know, they're my jam. They've been my go-to jam ever since I discovered them, and or they discovered me, or whatever. But yeah, found these guys in a basement in Seattle. Are great, but they're a band that is so ingenuous. Every single one of them. If you ever watch an interview or watch there's quite a few documentaries out there that have either the Foo Fighters or Dave Grohl or a mix of them in. Great documentaries too. That show how just cool as a cucumber these guys are. You know how down to earth they really are. They're not a bunch of rock and roll stars or anything. I mean, they're far from it. You know, if you get in an interview and you listen to like one of the interviews where they were asking Dave Grohl, it's like, okay, let's talk about some artists here. Queen, and Dave Grohl's like, best band ever. End of story. Next question. And then they said ABBA, and he's like, who doesn't like ABBA? Everybody loves ABBA. Who doesn't like ABBA? Who you could say you don't like ABBA, but if you take your kid to the skating rink and that song comes on, yeah, you remember, don't you? It was really cool. And they said Prince, best guitar player, best singer, best lyricist, best looking, longest Johnson. Should I go on?
Prince was just the man.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, those guys are not like, my favorite band is Metallica or this or that or the other. You know, it's just completely off the wall shit like ABBA.
Yeah.
Who'd ever thought ABBA? But again, he's right.
I was going to say, but he's dead on. Like, who doesn't like ABBA songs?
Who doesn't like ABBA? I mean, you know, how can you go to Macy's and not hear ABBA Dancing Queen?
This episode is a total shit show.
Complete shit show. As a matter of fact, that's the title. That's the title of this episode this week.
We've ended up at Dancing Queen. Total shit show.
I mean, complete.
We just rolled the dice and we got double Dancing Queens.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I need to announce it's last call at the bar.
Oh man, it's last call. Crap.
Gee,
It is.
man.
It's your cousin from Boston. Do you ever watch those commercials?
Yeah, I was just thinking that when you started singing it.
It's my brother Frank and Brandy. Brandy, I gotta say, you're a total smoke show right now. But he makes it all better when he breaks out the Samuel Adams.
Smoke show.
Total smoke show.
That's awesome. It's totally awesome.
When that commercial comes on, I just start to giggle. Yo, guys, I'm from Boston. And I just lose it. Because there's like 3 of them out there now. 3 different commercials. Funny stuff. Anyhow, last call. I got nothing. Donnie's gone.
Donnie's gone. We're just kind of like chasing our tail on this deal, but yeah, I'll be totally honest with you. I really other than the Wayfair thing, I kind of checked out. I kind of checked out of like current events, man. I just needed a break.
Oh, we're all laughs, zero substance. This episode is so fucking calorie free. It's not even funny. You're getting nothing out of this episode. Zero.
No. We just stole an hour of your life. I'm sorry.
Congratulations. You guys are now dumber from having heard this episode.
God. This is how bad. This is how I never really thought how Donnie was like the keystone of the show, but this episode fully displays that he is.
Yeah, he's definitely a lot of help. He really is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's kind of the glue because I got to admit, I'm floating willy nilly with a jetpack in space, and I'm almost out of fuel. So, some people will get that, some people won't. I have no fucking idea what I meant by that, but it sounded good, so I said it. There.
That's awesome. Oh my
There.
God.
Again, Patreon, we take 40 cows. I guess we can take cash too. Cash is good. We're just sitting there
And there's
looking.
that.
We're just looking at each other like, what next?
What are we supposed to do now?
Where's Donnie?
Donnie!
Jesus. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging in there with us for the complete shit show. Episode 93 will forever be the shit show. I cannot think of a more unsubstanced show we've ever done. I mean, this
was great.
You've learned about as much from this show as you would watching somebody remove a skin tag.
Pretty much, man. This is woo. It's been a bumpy ride. Holy shit.
Well, if nothing else, Shiner is very, very well medicated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you probably gonna have to crash on my couch, homie.
Oh well, it happens.
I mean, I know that Dodge will make it home in a hurry, but woo.
Yeah, probably not the best night to do it.
No. The way you are right now, making it home in a hurry is like 25 miles an hour. Man,
I was gonna say getting on the turnpike and driving 30 miles an hour. Like, whoa.
well, for the Pussy Master, Donnie Smith, my name is Big Titty Tidwell, and I will see you later. Love you. Bye.
And you guys get out there, kick the day in the ass, and leave your mark on the world. Shiner out.
This has been an Outcast Media Group production.